Hello and welcome to another edition of Cranky Gun Reviews here on this beautiful Friday night. I don't know if it's Friday when you're watching that, but it's Friday right now for me. I wanted to do another installment in my series on why did I want this gun. And today, the gun that we're talking about is a double barrel shotgun. Now, contrary to popular belief, a certain politician did not make me want to buy this gun because firing 2 blasts in the air will scare away everything. That's a fallacy. The reason that I wanted this gun goes back even further than his failed political career. So let's talk today about the double barrel shotgun, or the Coach Gun more specifically, and why I wanted to get this gun. So going back to my childhood, I've said this before, there's a lot of movies that I've seen that influence the gun purchases that I've made over the years. This is no exception. The side-by-side shotgun is just one of those quintessential guns that you see in Western movies when there's a guy up on a stagecoach and he has a gun riding next to the rider. They call these coach guns because there was typically a guy when you're running security or you're running a stagecoach, you're moving money or something like that. There was typically somebody riding up next to the driver of the stagecoach carrying a side-by-side shotgun. Have you ever heard of the term riding shotgun? Well, this is where it came from. Because when somebody rode up to you on a horse very quickly, this was really good for 10 to 15 yards if you were shooting buckshot or some kind of a heavy load out of these. So they quickly, after the double barrel shotgun came out, they were used for stagecoach protection and things like that. But realistically, these type of guns have been used in movies all over the spectrum, from people walking around in jungles to bad guys with sawed-off shotguns and things like that. They've been used in many, many, many movies. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few movies that I have seen side-by-side shotguns in that made me really want one of these. In the 1973 version of the movie Papillon with Steve McQueen, John Quaid in this movie carries a side-by-side shotgun as the masked man in the jungle. In the movie The Postman, Ron McClarty, or Old George, carries a side-by-side shotgun. Heist, with Gene Hackman and Delroy Lindo, where you can see here Delroy carrying a side-by-side. One of my favorites is The Punisher with Thomas Jane. When he's with his family at the barbecue, he uses a side-by-side shotgun to shoot a propane tank that blows up. Also, later in the movie, he has a sawed-off shotgun that he's cleaning when he's talking about preparing for war, and he snaps it shut, and that scene is so iconic. Several scenes in the movie The Highwaymen, with Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson, you can see side-by-side shotgun. In the 310 to Yuma, it's used in its traditional fashion on a stagecoach to protect the coach from the robbers. And last, but by no means least, my all-time favorite movie, Mad Max, with Mel Gibson as Max Rockatansky. He used a side-by-side sawed-off shotgun in several scenes in this movie. Fun fact, this was actually Mel Gibson's first movie that went into production. Another fun fact, the second movie, The Road Warrior, was the most expensive movie produced up to the time that that movie came out. Now, this particular side-by-side shotgun that I have here is made by Stoeger. This is the Coach Gun model, and I bought this model in a 20-gauge variant. Main reason I bought this in a 20-gauge versus a 12-gauge is when I go out to the range and I want to do quite a bit of shooting on one of these, a 20-gauge is just a lot easier on the shoulder. 20-gauge ammo is still fairly readily available, maybe not quite as easy to find as 12 gauges still, but over the years, I've been able to buy some things like these vintage Federal Slugs, and these are pretty cool. They look kind of like macaroni. I always thought the shell casing kind of looks like macaroni. It's a rigatoni! And these are 3/4 of an ounce hollow point rifled slugs. Then you can use buckshot, and lately I've been able to find this 20-gauge Federal buckshot. This is 2 3/4 inch with 20 pellets of number 3 buck. And again, these kind of look like macaroni. Rigatoni. But this is 20 pellets of number 3 buck, 2 3/4 inch shells. These right now you can find at Cabela's for about $8 for 5 rounds, which is still a pretty good price. And then you have your just standard good old 20 gauge birdshot target load. This is number 8. And this gun can use any of those type of loads. So it's a very versatile gun. I was recently thinking that if I bought a 12 gauge side-by-side, it might be even more versatile because I could use shorty shotgun shells in it. Nobody makes a short 20 gauge shell, but there is pretty good variety of ammo for 20 gauge shotguns out there. So I'm not really lacking for what I can shoot. Now this shotgun comes with a beautiful walnut stock and foregrip. It is a blued finish, and I'm very happy with it. The checkering on it is beautifully done. And for the price this gun is, it's very well made. You can see here with the breech open, down the 2 barrels, and this actually has a choke in each barrel. One barrel has a fixed improved cylinder choke, and the other one has a fixed modified choke. And the other nice thing about this particular model that I have, it has 2 triggers, which I've heard the double trigger models are a little bit more well made, and they're also a little bit more fun to shoot as well. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Cranky Gun Reviews and this episode on why I like this gun, the side-by-side shotgun, in this case, the Stoeger Coach Gun. Make sure you support your two-way rights. God bless America. Have a great night. And you remember, when somebody tells you to give up a little bit of your freedom for the greater good, that freedom is the greater good.